Gotmark76 this week, 1990.
Hello fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Gotmark76 this week. We begin today's show with a U.S. Tag Team Tournament first round matchup as the Samoan SWAT team, Fatu and Samu, take on Wildfire, Tommy Rich, and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. It is Tommy Rich starting off things in the ring with Fatu. We will also have another first round U.S. Tag Team Title Tournament matchup as Flying Brian Pillman teams with the Z-Man, and they take on the Royal Family. And of course, our big main event of the evening, Nature Boy Ric Flair will defend the NWA World Heavyweight Title against Lex Luger. And the winner, of course, of that match will take on Sting at Wrestle War on February 24th. As Fatu gets out of that headlock maneuver by Tommy Rich. And Rich fires back with the big right hand. Rich, a potential victim of Lex Luger and a steel chair last week, but Dr. Death Steve Williams came to the rescue as Rich tags in. Gilbert up with the suplex, slam down goes Fatu, and Gilbert, allows Fatu to make a tag. A big mistake on the part of Gilbert, but catches Samu with a running clothesline. An inside cradle. Gilbert has Samu pinned. 2, and a kick out of 2 by Samu. Gilbert now. Front face lock. And snapmare takeover working the neck of Samu. And an elbow drop by Hot Stuff, and Samu is in trouble. Another elbow drop by Gilbert, remaining in control. And Gilbert with an inverted atomic drop has Samu against the ropes, and a clothesline. Up and over goes Samu. Gilbert makes the tag, and here comes Wildfire Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich had a shot last week at the Total Package Lex Luger for the U.S. Heavyweight Title. Took the Total Package to the limit, but fell victim to the torture rack. And at the conclusion of that matchup, as you saw at the top of the program, Lex Luger went outside, grabbed a steel chair, was going to attack Wildfire Tommy Rich with a steel chair, but Dr. Death Steve Williams made the save. As Rich goes for the cover. Could they move on? No, a kick out at 1 by Samu. So Dr. Death Steve Williams last week made the challenge to Lex Luger. He said, if you win the world title tonight, as they make another tag, and here comes another suplex slam. Try saying that 5 times fast. And Gilbert knocks off Fatu, cannot make the tag this time, and Samu still in the ring. Dr. Death challenging Lex Luger, saying, if you win the world title, then hey, I understand you have plans with Sting at a Wrestle War. But if for some reason you do not win the world title, I want a shot at your U.S. Heavyweight title. So tonight's main event of Lex Luger and Ric Flair has major implications for Wrestle War, which is coming up on February 24th live on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. Gilbert going for the cover. And Samu kicks out at 1. An inverted atomic drop by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. He's not done. Nails another one, and down goes Samu. Samu needs to make a tag desperately. Gilbert goes for the cover. And a kick out at 1 by Samu. And a big left hand by Hot Stuff. Staggers Samu, but Samu takes Gilbert down, tying him up, and has a leg lock locked in. Will Gilbert give up? He's far away from the ropes, trying to escape the submission maneuver. Adjusts his body weight and kicks off Samu. And a running knee lift missed. Samu has Gilbert up on his shoulder. Drops him back. A Samoan drop. And now Samu setting up Gilbert. Gilbert missing. Oh, and a savant kick to the face of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Samu going for the cover. That could be it. 1, 2, and 3. And your winners, the Samoan SWAT team of Fatu and Samu. Here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. Eddie Gilbert and Tommy Rich controlled the bulk of this matchup, but it was Eddie Gilbert with a missed running knee that set up Samu with a Samoan drop and a savant kick, which put Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert away. But the Samoan SWAT team move on in the tournament. And I thought it was over right there, but only a kick out of 1. And the Samoan SWAT team are moving on in the tournament. They will take on the winners of Brian Pillman and the Z-Man and the Royal Family. That match is coming up later on in the program. When we come back, we'll hear from the World Heavyweight Champion next. And strong words from the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair as we are set here for another first round matchup as Flying Brian and the Z-Man take on the Royal Family. It's Rip Morgan in the ring against the Z-Man. And I'll tell you what, Ric Flair looks focused. He said Lex Luger thinks that he may have an advantage. He thinks that Ric Flair is distracted. But Flair pointed out he is a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, and he simply cannot be distracted. He is used to everybody coming after him, going after that World Heavyweight title. And And he said it's a mistake on the part of Lex Luger if he thinks that he has an advantage tonight. But as Ric Flair, the champ, described, it has been a whirlwind in the last several weeks. And the next couple weeks are sure to get even more cloudy, pardon the pun. As they step into the ring, the Four Horsemen with Gary Hart International, the loser must break up. So Arn and Ole Anderson make their return to the NWA. How shocking would it be if less than a month later they're breaking up as the Four Horsemen? And then that puts the world title match between Sting and Ric Flair with even greater odds, because then they're no longer members of the Four Horsemen. And the way it's been explained so far, and I have no reason to not believe the Horsemen, is that they're okay regardless of who wins this match because it will stay within the Four Horsemen. But if there is no Four Horsemen, then one has to wonder that Sting and Flair would both want to win that match, and I don't know, the next couple weeks in the NWA could be very exciting. It starts tonight, of course, Lex Luger and Ric Flair battling each other for that World Heavyweight Title. It could be Lex Luger and Sting come Wrestle War on the 24th. As Jack Victory with a kick to the face of Flying Brian Pillman, and throws Pillman into his corner, runs and charges with a clothesline, and down goes Brian Pillman. And Jack Victory stomping away on Flying Brian as the Z-Man trying to encourage his tag team partner, who's currently trying to fight his way out of a camel clutch, and does. Throws Jack Victory down face first. And up and over the top rope goes Jack Victory. This is the second first-round match for the U.S. Tag Team titles this week. Next week, we'll see the conclusion of round one as the Midnight Express take on the Rock and Roll Express, and the Fabulous Freebirds take on the Dynamic Dudes. And both of these men better be careful not to have a countout. A countout victory for either team will move their team on in the tournament. And the referees counts up to 6, and a double countout will give the Samoan SWAT team a bye into the next round as Pillman throws Victory into the ring, and they avoided a double countout. And Pillman now working the back of Jack Victory. And the Z-Man again cheering on in the background. And Pillman, he might be lining up Victory. He was, as Victory got back to his knees, and Pillman met him and takes him down with a chop. Flying Brian Pillman, who made a real big impact in the NWA in 1989, looks to make 1990 his year, as he came so close on many occasions to winning the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Off the ropes and nails a splash on Jack Victory, does not go for the cover, and instead is inflicting more punishment, going for a submission maneuver. Has Victory in a submission maneuver. Can Victory escape? The referee's right there asking. And Jack Victory able to shift his weight and have Pillman in the pinning predicament. Did not get a count. And Victory again throws Pillman into his corner, tags. Here comes Rip Morgan. Into the ropes goes Pillman, off the ropes, drop toe hold, and an elbow to the back by Rip Morgan. And Pillman needs to make a tag and get Z-Man in there. As Morgan working the arm of Flying Brian. Pillman trying to make a comeback, throws Rip Morgan down to the mat. Stomping away. Morgan, a reversal by Pillman. And Pillman ramming his knee into the face of Rip Morgan. Picks up Morgan, but Morgan takes Pillman over. Morgan using that strike from the drop toe hold by Rip Morgan on Brian Pillman. So these two men exchanging blows as Pillman. Ooh, and a beautiful gut buster on Rip Morgan. Pillman in control. Pillman climbing up top. The referee administering a count. Morgan back to his feet. Pillman leaps and nails a crossbody off the top rope. Jack Victory in the ring trying to bring up the pinfall. The referee stopping him. Makes the count 1, 2, and 3. And your winners, Flying Brian Pillman and the Z-Man. Let's take a look at some action from earlier. A double team maneuver on the part of the Royal Family. And there's that beautiful splash by Brian Pillman, but did not go for the cover there. More double team work from the Royal Family, but it was a crossbody off the top rope on Rip Morgan that put the Royal Family away. And your winners and moving on in the U.S. Tag Team Title Tournament, Flying Brian Pillman and the Z-Man. Let's take a look at the updated brackets. There they are. The Samoan SWAT team will take on Pillman and the Z-Man in round 2. Let's go to Jim Cornette with comments on next week's matchup. And welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. It is time for our main event, and Lex Luger being led to the ring by Gary Hart. Gary Hart is going to be in the corner of the total package Lex Luger for this world title match. So earlier in the show, Ric Flair said he is not distracted, that all of his attention is on the title defense tonight against Lex Luger, but mentioned the Thunderdome match at the Clash of the Champions, mentioned Gary Hart International, and sure enough, Gary Hart is at ringside. And Gary Hart last week, right here on this program, said that the NWA has put a stop to current contracts he had, and he promised to rid the NWA of the Four Horsemen. And Ric Flair making his way to the ring. I'm sure he's aware that Gary Hart is in the corner of the total package. But this changes everything. This makes Lex Luger even more capable of winning the world title, having someone like Gary Hart in his corner. And Ric Flair still coming to the ring, styling and profiling. It doesn't look like it's having any effect on him, but that is very difficult to surmise. As Ric Flair enters the ring. And what a shocker here on World Championship Wrestling. The winner of this match will take on Sting on February 24th at WrestleWar 90. Coming your way live from Greensboro, North Carolina. And of course available on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. But that is the prize we're fighting for, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And of course the challenger from Chicago, Illinois, weighing 280 pounds, he is the United States Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger. And his opponent is the 6-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in tonight at 247 pounds, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And again, one of these two men will take on Sting and defend the NWA World Title at Wrestle War in a belly-to-belly suplex by Lex Luger, who misses with a kick. These two men know each other so well. It was in 1988 at the Great American Bash when Lex Luger challenged Ric Flair, thought he had the World Heavyweight Title won. But due to a technicality, Ric Flair walked out the Baltimore Arena that day still World Heavyweight Champion. Fast forward to Starrcade 88, December of 88, just over a year ago. The final encounter while Ric Flair was world champion, and Lex Luger stole a victory from Lex Luger by putting his feet on the ropes. That match had a stipulation that Lex Luger could not challenge Ric Flair while he was World Heavyweight Champion. Well, Ric Flair lost the world title, and Lex Luger never got a world title match against the NWA Champion, as he goes for a cover here on Luger to kick out at 1. So Luger turned his back on his fellow wrestlers and the fans and started bending and breaking the rules, as Gary Hart distracting Ric Flair, and already Gary Hart making his presence felt in this world title match. And then it was back in November's Clash of the Champions New York Knockout, when Ric Flair was presented with the Wrestler of the Decade Award by the voters and fans of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And Lex Luger destroyed that trophy, that Lifetime Achievement Award, that Wrestler of the Decade Award, as Flair goes for the cover and again, a kick out at 1. So Flair wanted to get his hands on Luger and enter Starrcade, the night of the Iron Man. Sting won the Iron Man tournament, narrowly edging out Lex Luger by a score of 40-35. And Sting pinned Ric Flair to do so. He was named the #1 contender. So the NWA Board of Directors, mainly Jim Hurd, the Vice President of Operations, said that Lex Luger would get one title shot, and the winner will face Sting at Wrestle War, and a big elbow takes Flair down. But again, Flair, with an arm drag, takes Luger up and over. These two men again know each other so well. And a kick to the midsection. Flair has Luger up and spikes him down with a pile driver. And Flair back in control, lining up Luger. That famous knee drop across the forehead, and Gary Hart up on the apron, distracting the referee as Flair setting up Luger for the figure 4. Flair has a leg locked in and down with the figure 4 leg lock, but Luger, look at that strength, rolls over Flair. Oh, and all the pressure now on the knee of Flair. Luger going for the attack, but reversed by Flair. A kick by Luger, blocked by Flair. And a power slam by Luger as Gary Hart throws a chair in the ring. This is not a no disqualification match. Flair Thunderhead suplex, up and over goes Luger. And Flair now. Greco-Roman rake in the eyes. Referee didn't see it. Up and over the top rope goes Luger. And thrown back in with a hip toss. Flair back in control. Lines up Luger. What's he have in store here? He's gonna set up another knee drop. Across the forehead, and there it is. He nails it. Could we see another figure four leg lock? Flair setting up Luger, but Luger blocked him with a knee to the head. And a charging clothesline takes Flair down. Could the torture rack be next? Could we have a new World Heavyweight Champion? As Luger working the neck of Ric Flair. That neck that sent Ric Flair out of action for several months last year. And Luger setting up Flair. What's he have in mind here? A kick to the midsection. Setting him up for a pile driver. And spikes Flair down. We're going to have a new World Heavyweight Champion. Luger pulls Flair to the middle of the ring. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. No! Flair kicks out. Ric Flair kicks out at the last second. And Luger picking up Flair, who backdrops Luger up and over. Luger now in trouble. Flair going for the cover on Luger. 1, 2, and a kick out of 2 by Luger. Oh, and Flair with a knee to the back. Kicking dirt on Luger, it says, and Flair throws Luger into the turnbuckle, but wait, Luger throws a referee! And Flair hit a charging, wait a second, Gary Hart nails a chair to Luger, who's nailing Flair! The referee's called for the bell, a disqualification, but Luger firing away with chair shots on Ric Flair! Oh man, Lex Luger taking out Ric Flair, and Gary Hart was behind it. Could this have an impact in 2 weeks' time at the Clash of the Champions? Fans, next week, the U.S. Tag Team Title Tournament continues. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody.